ready?
I'm ready.
It will kill.
The Cinquedea. Developed in Italy during the Renaissance, the Cinquedea gained popularity among civilian noblemen. This large double-edged sword delivered lethal cuts in close-quarter attacks and was worn on the hip to be swiftly drawn in times of threatening encounters. Derived from the Italian word for the number 5, the name Cinquedea represents the blade measuring 5 fingers wide at the base, which became an excellent canvas for intricate artwork. With functionality in mind, swordsmiths also included fullers to lighten the weight of this otherwise heavy sword. Although the Cinquedea lost its popularity after the 16th century, it has recently made a comeback in the video game Assassin's Creed.
The Cinquedea was used for civilian dress, but it served one purpose: to kill. I will take your weapon and deliver killing blows to this big carcass. Dan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm a little concerned when I see how well constructed Neil's blade is. But I've got a 50-50 chance of winning. Either God wills it or God doesn't.
All right, Dan, on the backhand slash, cut all the way through and lacerated the ribs. On the other edge, it cut the spine in half. The balance of the blade makes it very wieldable in combat. Your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Neil, you ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. Okay, Neil, this is heavier compared to Dan's blade, but the edges are sharp enough to lacerate the spine all the way through. The base and the weight allows for a power slash. Overall, your Cinquedea will kill. Good job. Up next is the sharpness test. We will test both of the edges of your blades by delivering a strike across these ratchet straps. Dan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. My hand will tend to choke up all the way to the guard. This weight distribution basically pulls the blade away. Definitely the sword on both sides is easy enough to slash through and deliver a slice that cuts through all these ratchets. Your blade, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
Good job. Neil, your turn. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. The dimensions of your handle really fit my hand. Anywhere I go, it stays right where it has to be. Your edge easily cut through these ratchets on both sides. Your blade will cut. Good job.
Right on.
Next up is the strength test. Dave?
Gentlemen, to test the strength of your weapon, I'm going to chop into this ice block 4 times with each edge of your sword. Dan, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the other side. Well, I don't see any chipping or warping, so the edge held up very nicely. That guard is so lean that as I'm striking, the blade wants to turn in my hand.
Okay.
But I did a good job. Nicely done. So, Neil, your turn. You ready?
Ready.
Now the other side. This is heavy. You see the Cinquedeas with the multiple fullers. And the purpose of that is to take that mass out of it. It's not balanced badly because you've got really thick tang on there. I see no damage. I can't feel any rolling. So it held up beautifully. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Dan, Neil, the judges have completed their deliberation, but in this arena of competition, there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Neil, congratulations. Congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Dan, unfortunately, your blade did not make the cut. Neil, you picked a hell of a way to tell the world that you're here. Congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving that check for $10,000. What are you feeling right now?
It's overwhelming.
Great job.
My son is going to be ecstatic that I won. We've been watching this show on the couch last season to me being on it. Forged in Fire champion, that's me. So crazy.
The Wind and Firewheel. A rare and unique Chinese weapon, the Wind and Fire wheels were multifunctional tools utilized in martial arts dating back over 500 years. Approximately 1 foot in diameter, the wheels featured a sturdy wrapped grip, along with short but lethal protruding blades. Those trained in the use of the weapon were highly specialized, needing precise movements to execute blocking, thrusting, and slashing maneuvers. In Chinese mythology, the Wind and Fire wheels were wielded by the god Ni-Za and have been popularized in the video game Dynasty Warriors.
Bladesmiths, to find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your rings and deliver slashes and thrusts on this big carcass. Rebel, you're first. You ready?
More than ready.
Nice job.
All right. I like the construction here. It's unique. I've never seen this done before. It makes it very sturdy, but it adds a little more weight to it. It makes sighting it a little bit more difficult, but yet, once you get going, your Wind and Fire will kill.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, Chuck, your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
It ain't critical.
First up, it's obvious. The problem here is you lost the blade. With the weld that you have here, it broke. That's why you have other blades to help out with the fight. Your blades are wicked sharp. Because they're so much lighter, the cuts are deeper and sharper.
Because your damage is not catastrophic.
It will kill. Next up, the strength test. Dave?
Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your Wind and Fire rings, I'll be attacking our bamboo wushu dummy. Rebel, you're up first. You ready?
Definitely.
All right. Okay, so right off, Rebel, those points are wicked. They are nice and sharp and strong. There's a lot of weight to these blades, but I think your construction technique is brilliant. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So, Chuck, we lost another one. They feel good, they're light, they're fast, they're sharp, but they're coming apart. So, Chuck, the bottom line is, with this kind of damage, I can't safely continue to test these.
I understand.
All right.
Chuck, now we have a vote of no confidence from the judges to move forward in this testing. And for that reason, I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
Thanks for putting on a good fight.
Well, Rebel, This is a competition where the best blade wins, and your pair of Apocalypse rings have definitely put you on top. Congratulations, you are our new Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Good job, brother.
I am a Forged in Fire champion.
Good job, brother.
And it feels really great. Although I'm very proud of Chuck for pushing through and being a real fighter, I didn't want to win like this. But I've learned that with a little ingenuity and a little crazy, you can turn the impossible into the possible and totally win this.
The Rooster Head French Pioneer Sword. The Rooster Head Pioneer Sword was a key utility tool for French military engineers known as sappers during the 19th century. The weapon was a jack-of-all-trades featuring a sawback essential for clearing brush and building fascines, and a sharp clip point lethal in hand-to-hand combat. Most notable is the weapon's pommel, featuring a decorative Gaelic rooster, the unofficial symbol of France, representing vigilance, hope, and triumph. This iconic weapon can be seen in the video game Mount and Blade Warband, Napoleonic Wars.
All right, bladesmiths, your blades look lovely, but are they deadly? I'm gonna take your weapons, deliver some lethal cuts and slashes on this goat carcass. It's time to find out if they're ready for a cockfight, or are they gonna play chicken? All right, Steven, let's talk about your sword here. It's beautiful looking, but it's a heavy sword. But that lends itself to deliver very deep cuts with every swing. And more importantly, it will kill. All right, Cade, your turn. So you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cade, let's talk about your sword here. Your handle construction fits perfectly in my hand. Now, your edge is pristine, no glints, no rollings whatsoever, and most importantly, it'll keel.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to the strength test, the log chop. Now, to test the strength and overall durability of your blades, I'll be chopping on this log. All right, Steven, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
Right, first off, Steven, nice job on the castings. They're nicely done. Your handle is about an inch too long. It allows my hand to travel around a lot. Your blade took no damage whatsoever. Good job.
Thanks.
All right, Cade, you're up next. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cade, your blade, good condition, no rolls, no chips, still sharp as it was when I started. Good job.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test the Scarecrow saw and slice. To test the sawbacks on your weapon, I'll be sawing into the wooden dowels. Then I'll test the edge by cutting the watermelon and the sugarcane bundle. Steven, you're up first. You ready?
Let's do it.
right, Steven, let's talk about your sawback here. Once it gets started, it starts to saw. It works. It's a functional sawback in there. You're able to dig into the dowel. Your edge is sharp. No issues cutting on the watermelon, and the weight alone is gonna just chop that whole thing off. Overall, sir, it'll cut.
Thank you.
All right, Cade, your turn. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cade, sawback. These teeth are sharp. Even at the start, it already digs in. A couple of slices in there, it's already digging right into the wooden double. Your edge, no issues whatsoever. Cuts to the watermelon and cuts the rest of the sugarcane bundles. Overall, sir, it'll cut.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, the weapons tests are complete and the judges literally had to weigh the details. The new Forged in Fire champion is... Cade, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion. Steven, your blade is 2 pounds heavier than Cade's blade, making it less wieldy. Additionally, your handle is a little bit out of proportion with the blade, and it's for that reason that you cannot be the Forged in Fire champion. Cade, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion, and that is a title that comes with a check for $10,000. How do you feel right now?
Cockle-diddle-doo.
Good job, my friend. You made a fine rooster-headed French pioneer sword. Come on forward and shake our hand.
I am super psyched right now. I am so proud of myself, and I thank God that I had this opportunity. I got to keep working hard and keep on trying to climb that ladder, you know? 10 grand is college funds.
The Jumanji Yari. Originating in the 1500s, the Jumanji Yari was carried by Japanese soldiers known as the Ashigaru. These peasant foot soldiers relied on the long-shafted spear for its reach and versatility in combat. Using the weapon's double-edged crossbars to disarm and pull mounted samurai from their horses, the Ashigaru could then employ the razor-sharp central blade to fatally skewer the fallen enemy, and all from a comfortable distance. Today, video game enthusiasts can unleash the Jumanji Yari's devastating capabilities in the game Shadow Fight 2.
The Yari, with its long handle and multi-pronged spear, makes it a trifecta of points and edges in a deadly weapon. To see what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your Yari and deliver multiple slashes and thrusts on this big carcass. Fuad, you're up first. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Oh, Jesus.
All right, Fuad, let's talk about your Yari here. We felt that it had very good balance to it, that on the initial slash right here, it dug in into flesh, then it hit the spine. The transference of energy hit a weak spot into your handle over here, but it still had a secondary cut all the way through. I would consider your blade a kill.
Thank you. It was, mine was beautiful, well made, and some wood grain, just, you know.
Fuad, your weapon suffered a catastrophic failure. Now, that's bad. However, you're not out of this competition yet. Jacob, your Yari still must perform in this kill test. Let's see what happens.
All right, Jacob, let's talk about your Yari. In the initial swing, instead of being able to cut cleanly with this part to cut through, this got in the way with the angle that it had. But let's talk about these particular blades. They are sharp enough to penetrate into the pig carcass. The thrust is really devastating and very deep into that. Your handle construction, it stayed true. No issues at all. Overall, your weapon will kill.
Thank you, sir. My Yari held up, and I'm just, thank you, God.
Well, Fuad, the blades of your Yari were beautifully constructed. The overall weapon was very elegant. However, your shaft broke in our first test, and we cannot move forward in this competition because that is a catastrophic weapon failure, and I have to ask you to please leave the forge. Jacob, you are the Forged and Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000. Good job. How do you feel right now?
I feel amazing. I came here to prove that I can actually come out here at 19 and compete with serious knife makers. Thank you, sir. Really, I would have liked to beat Fuad in a different way, but I'm Forged and Fire champion at $10,000. It's awesome.
The Zande Spear.
Ooh, boy.
One of the deadliest weapons used by the Zande tribes of Central Africa, the Zande Spear was used for fighting as well as for hunting. Known throughout history as conquering warriors, the Zande exhibited unmatched skills on the battlefield. Affixed to a wooden shaft, the spear was suitable for throwing and attacking from long distances, but its thrusting ability made it just as effective as a close combat weapon. The sharp upper and lower tines and multiple spikes inflicted deadly wounds both upon entry and exit from the victim's body. The Zande's lethal use of the spear can be seen highlighted in the game, Deadliest Warrior.
Bladesmiths, I will take your Zande Spear and deliver killing blows on this ballistic dummy. Drew, you're up first. You ready?
Let's make those intestines out-testines.
All right, let's do that. I like that.
Right now, I'm about to hear Doug say it will kill, and that's the only thing I'm here for.
To help me out today, please welcome back R.J. Markaida. He will have the pleasure of wielding your Zande Spear. Right, Drew, it feels very good in the hand. It lacerates deep when we thrust this into the chest cavity, into the heart, on its way out. Not only does it take some skin with it, but it also took out some ribs. Your tines right here, from the side entry, the spear went all the way through, and on its way out, it took everything that was in its path. But there is one issue. As you can see, your tip right here broke off. But other than that, this is a weapon that is deadly, and it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, your turn. You ready?
I know it'll cut.
All right, Jason. The balance of your weapon feels good. When it penetrated into the chest cavity, it hit a rib and broke it in half. Got into the heart, and there is no edge damage on your tip. All these hooks right here did what it's supposed to do. Into the abdomen, ripped everything out, even the barb. And the beautiful thing about this is, it will kill.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Say hello to my little friend here. Today, we're going to test the overall strength and construction of your Zande spears by, well, we're going to fire them out of this cannon into this wood block wall. Now, I'm not concerned about what your spears do to the wall. I want to see how well your spears survive the wall. Drew, you're up first. Are you ready?
No.
Well, we're going to do it anyway.
Let's do it.
That worked really well, Drew. Despite the fact that you did lose a little bit of your tip in the kill test, didn't have any effect going into that block wall. Matter of fact, you sunk all the way down here. Very impressive. Your shaft is fine, nothing loosened up, nothing cracked. Your spear head is still solid. Overall, survived. Very good.
Thank you.
So Jason, what are you thinking?
Thinking, let's make splinters.
That's a problem.
Oh, God, no. I'm seeing it hang up a bit on the barrel, and my heart just absolutely sinks.
Jason, we've got a big problem here. The parameters that we set for these weapons are for testing purposes. Because your blade didn't meet the 1.5 inch parameter with a circular cross-section, we cannot fit the shaft of your weapon down the barrel of our testing apparatus here. And because we can't test it evenly and fairly with Drew's blade, I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
This was absolutely worst case scenario. I'm proud that I got this far, but I'm incredibly disappointed.
Well, Drew, in a competition where attention to detail is just as critical as craftsmanship, you are the Forged and Fire champion and will be collecting a check for $10,000. Good job.
Oh my God. Oh.
How do you feel right now?
I'm 18-year-old, and I'm the Forged and Fire champion. What just happened?
Well, I think the best blade just won, my friend. Come over here and shake our hands.
Oh, God. Didn't want to win this way, but I won, and that's kind of all that matters. I started bladesmithing seriously because of the show. I learned all that I had to learn to make it here, and I just won. This is the dream.
Oh my God, man.
Blackbeard's infamous Cutlass. Among the most notorious pirates of the 18th century, Blackbeard terrorized Caribbean and Atlantic merchant shipping with his trademark Cutlass in hand. Its short but thick curved blade featured a razor-sharp edge that was ideal for hacking and slashing during close-quarters combat while seizing small vessels. In his legendary battle with Captain Robert Maynard in 1718, Blackbeard's Cutlass broke Maynard's sword in half with a single blow. Today, Blackbeard's menacing presence and expert swordsmanship can still be seen in the video game Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Bladesmiths, to test the lethality of your Cutlass, I'm going to inflict lethal wounds on these ballistic dummies. Jason, you're up first. You ready?
I sure hope so, Doug.
Let's do this. All right, Jason, you got a very big handle here. But at least it's got the swells, it's got an indexing to where I hold on to it, I can tell where the edge is. The weight that you have in this weapon is so light in the sense that I can wield it even around here. You've got the clavicle into the ribs, all the way through the lungs. And definitely, it will kill.
All I ever wanted to hear. You made my day.
Seth, you're up next. You ready?
Get some.
All right, Seth, your sword is forward heavy without a balance coming back. I don't know whose shoulder's gonna hurt more. The dummies are mine, but your weapon, sir, will kill.
Thank you.
To test the strength and durability of your swords, I'll be chopping through these bones and then attacking that peg leg. Now remember, this test is not about what your blades do to these targets. It's about what these targets do to your blades. Jason, you're up. Are you ready?
Nope.
balance of your weapon is really nice, which is surprising because you've made a two-handed cutlass. Your blade held up very well, except for the one little chip, and it's not even a chip, it's a roll. So it didn't blow out. It's a good job.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, Seth, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Seth. First up, this thing's a beast. It is probably a pound heavier than your competitor's sword. Your blade, I mean, I can run my fingernail down this. I can see a couple of glinting spots, but it really didn't take any damage.
All right, bladesmiths, let's find out if there's any edge left. This is the rope cut and pirate sail slash. To test the edge of your cutlass, I will cut this rope, which will raise the sail, and then I will slash the sail. This is all about what your sword will do to the sail and rope. Jason, you up first. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, Jason. Your edge cut through the rope easily and cuts with every part that the edge met on this pirate's sail. Overall, sir, your sword will cut.
Awesome.
Seth, how you feeling?
Feeling good, let's go.
Let's do this. All right, Seth. What are the chances you find a very dull spot on the first cut on the rope? But on the second cut, it found another spot that was sharp. But on the sail, working a heavy sword like this affects my cuts.
Jason, Seth, the judges have tested your weapons and they've made a final decision. Our new Forged in Fire champion is Jason. Congratulations, you're the new Forged in Fire champion. Seth, unfortunately, your blade did not make the cut. Please surrender your blade. Jason, congratulations, you are our new Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a bundle of bullion that's worth 10 grand. How you feeling right now?
Come on, that's incredible. Forged in Fire champion!
The spike shield. Dating back to prehistoric times, the shield is the oldest form of protection, designed to block attacks from weapons like spears, swords, axes, or arrows. Over time, they have varied greatly in size and construction, using materials such as steel, wood, animal hide, and even turtle shells. Used primarily as a defense weapon, the shield can also be used to attack by punching an opponent with either its face or rim. Sometime around the Middle Ages, spikes were incorporated, adding an extra level of brutality to its design. The long steel spike could deliver deadly blows, oftentimes immediately disemboweling the attacker. The most notable spiked shields today can be seen in the popular video game series, Skyrim.
Gentlemen, between the 13th and the 16th century, spiked shields were commonly used by infantry to protect from swords, spears, and arrows. I'm going to fire 3 bolts from a crossbow to test each of your shields. If your shield is strong, it should deflect the arrow. Ilya, you're up. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Well, I can see where the bolts hit, Ilya. Small impact there, here, and right there. Nothing that would have been threatened the man behind this shield, so that's very well done. Michael, you're up. You ready?
I think so. Let's do this.
All right. Well, Michael, I can see where one hit. Give a bit of a dimple. One impacted somewhere on the center boss. You could actually hear it. And though there are some cosmetic issues with your shield, it certainly held up to the strength test. So well done.
Thank you.
Doug?
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. With your shield, I will take 4 hits on this ballistics dummy that's wearing chainmail. Ilya, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
The shield feels good in the hand. I can maneuver in different ways, not only to protect, but also to attack. Now let's see how much damage it did. The killing blows were right here, where it penetrated all the way. That's to the sternum and into the lung. That is in the belly. That goes all the way into this ballistics dummy. Your shield and the spike will kill. Mike, it's your turn. You ready?
All right.
Mike, your spike's a little bit loose. Let's see how it goes in the test.
We'll see.
Mike, it feels good in the hand. You can strike with the edges. You can accompany it with the other hand. It moves well. The spike did hold up. Now let's see how much damage we did.
All right. God.
Your spike definitely penetrated on both punctures. Right here, probably where the diaphragm is, and in the abdomen right here, all the way through. Your shield will kill.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, this is a sharpness test. I will attach your shield to this mechanical device. I will then release your shield to see if it'll puncture the steel drum. If your spike is sharp, it should go in easily. If not, well, it may just dent the drum. Ilya, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
3, 2, 1, engaging. Well, Ilya, your spike went cleanly through the drum and all the way out. I don't see any problems or any deformations on your spike. So it held up very well. Good job.
Thank you.
Mike, you're up. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
And in 3, 2, 1, engaging. Well, Mike, your spike went all the way through, got stuck a little bit, came out cleanly, but I do not see any damage to your spike. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
The judges have scrutinized your work, and they've made a final decision about which of you is the Forged in Fire champion, who will receive a check for $10,000. Ilya, you are the Forged in Fire champion.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike, your shield did not make the cut. Please surrender your shield.
Thank you, John. This is a fantastic experience. I think I performed very well. So as much as I would have liked a win, this still feels like a victory.
Ilya, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000.
Thank you. The way that all works together, I mean, just fantastic piece, I think.
I'm fairly satisfied with the end result. I might not often show it, but trust me, I am proud. The prize money is already pretty much spent on student loans and my girlfriend's education in astrophysics. I'm the Forged in Fire champion, and it feels pretty good.
The Lynch next sword. Created by Emperor Maximilian I in the 15th century, the Landsknechts were a deadly mercenary force armed with pikes, swords, and crossbows. The most battle-proven Landsknecht mercenaries were armed with massive two-handed swords. These imposing blades featured parrying lugs above the guard to deflect enemy attacks. Earning double the pay of their peers, these garishly dressed swordsmen of fortune would rush headlong into enemy pikes in an effort to disrupt their opponent's formations. Today, you can see the Landsknecht sword in the hit mobile strategy game Dominations.
Bladesmiths, the two-handed German Landsknecht swords, a big sword, so we're expecting big damage. I will take your sword and deliver slashes, thrusts, and chops on this wild boar carcass. Todd, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's do this. All right, Todd. First up, your handle construction. It's comfortable to hold on to. You have a very thick and wide and stout edge, so it's a chopper, not a slicer. The big issue I have with this is that it's a heavy sword. But despite its weight, it will kill. Yes. All right, DJ, it's your turn. You ready?
Yep.
DJ, let's talk about your sword here. It's even heavier than the other sword. The tip you have over here is wide. The first thrust went in, the second one couldn't, and I tried. The one thing it did was break its back. A thrust like that and a broken back like that will kill.
All right.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test. To test the overall construction of your blade, I'll be both stabbing and chopping into the steel plate. All right, Todd, you're up first. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Todd, you took some pretty good rolls. These rolls are fairly deep, but it held up. Nicely done. All right, DJ, you ready for this?
Yep. Oh, Lord.
All right, DJ, and this weapon is heavy. Look at that balance point, so far forward. Keeping that tip up is brutal. You've got a really, really super stout edge, and honestly, it held up quite well. There's some rolls here where it connected, but the weapon's still solid. It's a strong blade.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, your blades are still in one piece. Now let's see if they still have an edge. To test that edge, I'll be cutting through this cane. Todd, you're up. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hear that?
It sings.
It's like a tuning fork. All right, Todd, so let's talk about your singing sword here. You definitely have a sharp edge here. Sharp sword, made good cuts. Hold on.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, DJ, you ready?
Are you ready? That's a big one.
I'm ready. I can run my finger along that edge. On the first cut, as soon as I hit the dull part, it just starts pushing stuff over. Did a good job putting it together, but it's just not sharp enough to cut.
Todd, DJ, you've both done an incredible amount of work to bring these massive swords back for our final round of competition. But there can only be one Forged in Fire champion, and that champion is... Todd, congratulations. You are the new Forged in Fire champion. DJ, unfortunately, your sword didn't make the cut. Please surrender your blade.
My biggest regret is I should have spent more time on the edge. I did my best, and I didn't want to build something that was going to snap, and I definitely did that.
Todd, congratulations. You are the new Forged in Fire champion, and that is a title that comes with a check of $10,000. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Please present your blade to the judges.
I'm a little surprised. You know, it's still like a surreal kind of thing. I've proven what I've come to prove, that I'm capable, that I'm still skilled, and I'm thrilled that I was up to the challenge. I feel so good, I don't know how to feel.
Bardiche.
Sweet.
Vicious and menacing, the Bardiche was a favorite of Eastern European infantry soldiers during the 16th and 17th centuries. Its large, crescent-shaped axe head measured nearly 2 feet at the edge and could cleave through flesh and bone. Specialized soldiers called streltsy would use the Bardiche's pole to balance their muskets for firing from a distance, then switch to their axe during melee combat.
Though rare in American pop culture, you can experience the Bardiche's savagery on the virtual battlefield in the game Chivalry Medieval Warfare.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the kill test. To find out how lethal your weapon is, I will take your Bardiche and deliver lethal chops on this big carcass. John, you're up first. You ready?
Let's do it.
Do this.
Nice.
Head on, brother.
All right, John, let's talk about your Bardiche here. I love the swells. By putting these welds right there, it allows me to adjust my hand and get a good grip every time I move it around. Your blade right here is razor sharp. Cuts through spine, bones, and thick flesh. Overall, sir, your Bardiche will kill.
I got something to show you.
Oh, sure.
Kill tests.
Oh, it will kill. Good job. I'm glad.
I was hoping to kill because I did that. I did that. And,
well, good job. All right, Michael, your turn. You got anything to show me?
Nope.
All right, you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Nice.
Sorry. All right, Michael. This is at least around 11 pounds, all forward weight. I waste so much energy in recoiling that could be used in attack. But overall, sir, your Bardiche will kill.
Yeah. Oh.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test, the stump thump and steer smash. To test the strength and durability of your Bardiches, as well as their overall construction, I'll be chopping mercilessly into these logs and cleaving that steer skull in half. Remember, this is all about what happens to your Bardiche and not what happens to the wooden bone. John, you're up first. You ready?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, John, your Bardiche, it's got a nice weight to it. Not a huge fan of these undulations in the handle because I want to be able to move my hands around. I'm looking at the edge. It held up beautifully. Everything's still straight and tight. Good job.
Thank you.
Michael, you're up next. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hope you ate your Wheaties.
All right.
Oh, boy. All right.
Well, Michael, first things first, this thing is heavy.
It's a beast.
But everything is still tight. There's no motion in it, even after all of that chopping and smashing of skulls. The edge held up really well, so well done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Up next is the sharpness test, and for that, I give you to Dave.
All right, gentlemen. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what your blades do to the target. So take one shot right down the middle, trying to split those watermelon. Put half in one bucket, half in the other. All right, Johnny, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, John. It feels good. It's got a good balance to it. The shape of this is really nice. The cutting edge, curved like that, cut through the watermelon beautifully. Sharp weapon. It's nicely done.
Thanks.
All right, Michael, you're up. Are you ready?
Bring out the beast.
Okay.
Ha ha ha.
Well, right off, it's definitely sharp, but it weighs a ton. I like the design of this, but build strong doesn't necessarily mean build heavy.
John, Mike, you bladesmiths have engaged in one of our most difficult competitions. However, only one of you can be the Forged in Fire champion. And that champion is... John. Congratulations. You're our new Forged in Fire champion. Mike, unfortunately, your weapon didn't make the cut. Please surrender your weapon.
My experience here was definitely a challenge, pushed me to my limits. I learned a lot. I might not be the Forged in Fire champion, but I still feel like I'm walking away a winner.
John, congratulations. You're the new Forged in Fire champion, and that is a title that comes with a check for how much?
10 grand.
Please present your Bardiche to the judges.
This is the most mentally, physically, emotionally stressful time, but also the best time of my life. Woo! Forged in Fire champion. I'm super excited to get home and tell my wife about the great news, and now next thing coming up, I'm gonna be having a baby boy. So, I mean, this is a wonderful year, thank God.
The Executioner's Sword.
The Executioner's Sword performed its bloody work in 16th century Central Europe. Unlike combat swords, this lethal blade features a straight, double-edged cutting blade with a blunt tip, perfect for swiftly chopping off the heads of criminals. This deadly weapon was used on many aristocratic felons rather than the axe, since it allowed the victim to meet his end in a dignified kneeling position rather than laying face down with his head on the block. While the Executioner's Sword fell out of use in the early 18th century, this gruesome sword is still wielded in the 2019 video game Mordhau.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. The Executioner's Sword. That word alone just gives you visions of decapitated heads. So to find out what kind of lethal damage your Executioner's Sword can do, I'll deliver some, well, lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Nathan, is it time?
It's time. Have fun.
strap.
Just a little off the top. All right, Nathan. First up, this is a heavy beast. It is so forward heavy that you need 2 hands to control that. Now, your handle construction is smooth, I'll give you that. But it also feels a little bit rounded over here, where it actually gives me much more control sideways than it does this way. But overall, your weapon, sir, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, Gunner, your turn. So you ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. All right, Gunner, let's talk about your executioner sword over here. Your blade right here has a finer grind, so it makes it a little bit lighter. And the edge that you have here, when it came to that skull, just glided into that. Overall, sir, your executioner sword, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test, the skull and bone chop. Now, to test the overall construction of your blades, as well as how they feel while they're being used, I'll be chopping into these skulls and that nasty giraffe bone. Nathan, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Have fun.
Holy giraffe.
All right, Nathan, so right off, man, this thing is heavy. Once you get it moving, it's going, but controlling it's tough. Having said that, your edge held up beautifully. It's still just as sharp as when I started, which is pretty darn sharp. So good job on that.
Thanks. I like sharp things.
Gunner, ready?
What if I said no?
I'd say, you don't watch the show much, do you?
Exactly.
All right, so Gunner, right off, lighter blade, easier to control. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you've got more handle here. Now your blade, it's got some compacting on the edges, but I wouldn't run my finger down this edge. It's still plenty sharp. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the sharpest test, the jackfruit and water jug slice. Nathan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. Have fun.
All right, let's do this.
Still sharp.
All right, Nathan. As far as the downward chop, it's a very clean cut, easy, no resistance whatsoever. Now, when I was cutting, as soon as I met the resistance of the water, it kind of rolled on my hand. But anything that it did have contact with, it was able to cut. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Gunner, your turn. So you ready?
Yes, sir, I am.
Let's do this. All right, Gunner. The handle construction you have here is wide and ovoid enough to where when I hold onto it, I can really tell where the edge is, and it's much easier to control a blade like this. In the slice, you can see that cuts nicely. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
Well, bladesmiths, only one of you can leave here with the title of Fortune Fire Champion and get that check for $10,000. Now, the judges discussed your blades, and they made a final decision. Today's Fortune Fire Champion is... Gunner, congratulations. Now, Nathan, you fought hard, man, but unfortunately your blade didn't make the cut. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thanks, bud. Well, I'm gonna have to find a different way to take my wife to go see Bigfoot, but we're still gonna go.
Well, Gunner, that makes you the Forge and Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. I just won Forged and Fire.
Feeling good?
I mean, I've never thought I would make it this far from day one. I don't necessarily think that I'm a better smith than any of these other guys. It just worked out in my favor today. As far as the money, after football season ends, my wife and I will probably take a long weekend somewhere.
The Skiavona. Rising to popularity in Italy during the 16th and 17th centuries, the Skiavona became the trusted weapon for mercenaries recruited to guard the Venetian head estate. The sword's long blade included multiple fullers to lighten its weight, while its straight double edge made it conducive for deadly thrusts and cuts. The most eye-catching feature of this blade was its basket hilt with multiple pieces of steel that intertwined to protect the hand from brutal slashes. Its attractive yet deadly qualities are why the Skiavona can still be found today in popular games such as Assassin's Creed.
All right, bladesmiths, as you can see, I'm still recovering from an injury. So, to be my arm today and to have the pleasure of testing your weapon, I'd like to bring back one of my favorite students, my brother, RJ Marcaida. All right, Brad, the one issue I have about your handle right here, it did cause some issues by rubbing against the thumb right there. But more importantly, it is a sharp blade for slashing and thrusting. It will kill.
Cool.
Jeff, you ready?
Let's do this.
One right here. Okay. All right, Jeff. A little bit on the inside of your basket hilt right there. It did dig into his knuckles. But overall, if we're talking about a killing blade here with good balance and the kind of destruction it did, it will kill. Good job. All right, bladesmiths, next up is a strength test. Ben?
To test your Skiavona's basket and blade, I'm gonna punch into these terracotta pots and then chop into these birch logs. And remember, it's not what happens to the vase or the wood, it's what happens to your blade. Brad, you're up first. You ready?
My Skiavona is definitely ready.
Well, Brad, once I started chopping into that log, it was just going the whole time. There is a tiny little deformation right there. It's pretty narrow. You can hear it, you know. All in all, it's sharp and it's a good chopper. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, you're up. You ready?
Let's do this.
Well, Jeff, this is a heck of a chopper. It's got a lot of forward weight. It's a little bit on the heavy side, but not too much in general. And in total, it held up very well. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, this is our sharpness test. A rope and sandbag slash. What I'll do to test the edges of your blade is slice the rope, releasing the sandbag, then cut the bag. What we want to see are good clean cuts through the rope and clean cuts through the bag. Brad, you're up first. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, Brett, on the cuts, pass through the rope with no problem. This blade has a beautiful edge. A fine cutter. Excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Jeff, you ready?
Let's get it on.
All right, let's do this.
I think right now we're almost dead even. Couldn't be any closer.
All right, Jeff, what I like about your blade is its look, this industrial look. It's cool. It didn't slice all the way through the bag, but it cuts very cleanly. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Brad, Jeff, you are both extraordinary weaponsmiths, but there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Jeff, congratulations. You are our newest Forged in Fire champion. Brad, unfortunately, your weapon did not make the cut.
Brad, this is probably the most difficult hilt design we have sent any of our smiths home to do. And you both did a really nice job. And we had to look at the finest of details. And that was that rolled edge you took in the strength test. And that's why we've got to send you home.
Brad, please surrender your weapon.
I did the best that I could, and I put every single bit of effort into my blade. And Jeff, I hope we become friends forever. I definitely have a lot to learn from you, and I'm just so close to being the champion.
Jeff, you are the new Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000. How do you feel?
My heart's pounding out of my chest. This is what I came here to do.
Please present your weapon to the judges.
I feel freaking awesome. This is everything. This is what I wanted. It's perfect. I heard Brendan might have called me Magic Mike, but I tell you what, the magic is floating, baby. The magic is floating.
The HeadHunter's axe.
The HeadHunter axe is both a tool and a weapon of the native Igorot tribe who hail from the mountains of the Philippines. Featuring a sharp spike on one side that is used to pierce shields and armor, it also contained a wide, lethal axe head on the other side designed to swiftly decapitate enemies in the heat of battle. An intimidating weapon, tribes would display the heads of their victims to strike fear into their enemies. The legacy of this deadly axe lives on today and can be seen in the video game State of Decay Breakdown.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the keel test. The Igorot HeadHunter's axe. A weapon that I've always fantasized about because it's very close to my Filipino heritage. To find out what kind of lethal damage your HeadHunter's axe will do, I will take your weapon and deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Jordan, are you ready? Because I am.
So,
let's do this.
right now I'm pretty intimidated. If that spike hits the backbone or the skull or anything like that, I think it'd snap right off.
All right, Jordan, let's talk about your HeadHunter's axe here. Your edges here are very sharp. With every strike, it dug in very deep into this ballistics dummy. The spike you have here, even digging into the skull, did not bend. It feels good in the hand, and more importantly, sir, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Jesse, you're up next. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
I'm feeling nervous. I'm worried about my axe head flying off the socket because those bones are dense. You know, going into a human skull is not an easy task.
Ooh, he headbutted me. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your HeadHunter's axe over here. First up, the handle construction. Somebody did some research on some Polynesian tattoos there. Looks good, and it feels good in the hand. Your edges here penetrated very deep into this ballistics dummy. Now your spike here, not only did it penetrate the skull, but it also cut it, and it stayed true. Overall, sir, your headhunter's axe will kill.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to our strength test, the bamboo and skull chop. Now you get two totally different materials here. You got the springy bamboo that likes to bounce things back, and the skulls that like to break edges. So we're gonna test both ends and the overall construction of your headhunter's axes. Jordan, you're smiling, so you're up first. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do it. Jordan, nice job. Take a breath now. Okay. Now, everything held up nicely. Everything's tight, doesn't look like anything moved. Your edges are still sharp. I mean, the fact that you made this thing light, tough, and in Damascus in 3 days, that's a heck of a feat. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Jesse, how you feel after seeing that?
Not good.
Not good? It'll be fine, don't worry about it.
Last one, man.
All right, Jesse, on the plus side, it felt great in the hand, and your edges held up just fine. But just all the shockwave from the force of those strikes split the handle almost in half. So definitely not gonna be able to continue testing with this weapon.
Well, Jesse, we absolutely hate to see that happen. Phenomenal job on your blade itself. But unfortunately, you had a catastrophic failure when your handle broke, and for that reason, we can no longer continue testing your weapon. I'm gonna have to ask you to please leave the forge.
I felt a little heartbroken seeing something that I put so much work into be broke, but I came onto this competition just to prove that I can compete with some of the best bladesmiths out there. And I know I've already accomplished that, so I still feel like I'm going home a winner.
Well, Jordan, you survived the test. Your blade came out on top, so congratulations. You are the Forge and Fire champion, and there's a $10,000 check waiting for you outside that door. Very well done.
I just won Forge and Fire. I don't really know what to say right now. Sasquatch is kind of my mascot, and so I feel like that's a Sasquatch-worthy axe.
A falchion.
Yeah.
One of the most popular weapons during the Middle Ages, the falchion was a commoner sword that found widespread use both on and off European battlefields. A thick and heavy sword, falchions featured either a straight or slightly curved blade with a single sharp edge, making it well suited for the vicious close-quarters combat of medieval wars. Eventually, this broad and deadly hacking weapon transitioned from a combat sidearm to a hunting sword like other historic European weapons of its time. Although the falchion disappeared from battlefields and hunting grounds, its legacy virtually lives on in video games like Warhammer, Vermintide 2, and Dark Souls 3.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do according to its historic design, I will try to cut this pig carcass in half. Wayne, you're up first. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
One and done.
Well now. All right, Wayne, your falchion is beautiful. It is sharp. It cut through the spine and all the way through the pig. It's a little bit heavier for a one-handed weapon, but it is well balanced. Overall, sir, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, Mark, your turn, sir. Are you ready?
Let's give it a shot.
All right, Mark, let's talk about your falchion here. It's a nice, lighter blade. Your edges are sharp enough to cut through spine, but the problem I have here is your guard. Your edges here are not rounded. They dig in right here where the thumb is. But your blade, sir, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be attacking our armored dummy here. This test is not about what your swords do to that armor. It's about what that armor does to your swords. Wayne, you're up. You ready?
Let's do it.
First off, Wayne, your edge has taken some small chips, some small rolls, but it's very, very minor damage. There's still a sharp edge here. All in all, it held up beautifully.
All right, thank you.
So, Mark, I gotta ask, what's with the shirt?
I got married in this shirt, actually. It's, it's my formal wear.
All right. Well, you ready for the test?
I am.
Okay. All right, so first off, the blade is still solid. You did get some minor rolling, but the blade still has an edge. Down here's the problem. Your guard, these edges are not just square, they're sharp. But the blade held up. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, now it's time to find out if there's any sharpness left to your weapons. To test the edge of your weapon, I'm gonna cut through this gauntlet of sandbags. Wayne, you're up first. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Wayne, your weapon is sharp. On every swing, it cuts and slashes nicely. And most importantly, aside from being smurfed, it will cut. Awesome. All right, Mark, it's your turn. You ready?
I am.
Let's have fun. All right, Mark, and you can see on both of these bags, it cut deeply. On the second bag, on the swing back over there, it must have hit a dull spot. It did rip parts of the bag, but it didn't cut all the way in. But overall, it is sharp, and it will cut.
Thank you.
Wayne, Mark, it was a tight decision. Wayne, congratulations. You're the Forged in Fire champion. Mark, unfortunately, your blade didn't make the cut. Please surrender your weapon and leave the forge.
From start to finish, this whole thing was a learning process for me, and I honestly think I have gotten years worth of experience and feedback in just a short time. Great job.
Yeah, you too.
This experience was life-changing.
Wayne, congratulations. You are one badass, everlasting bladesmith and our new Forged in Fire champion. Good job, brother.
Yeah! Yes! Yeah!
Please, at this time, present your blade to our judges.
So I did it! Man, I wanted it! Next for me, I'm gonna get back on the same thing that's led me to this point, which is just non-stop, going full throttle. I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep getting better and better.
The Byhander. The Zweihander, which means two-hander in German, was a massive sword wielded by Swiss and German mercenary armies in the 16th century. Sometimes stretching to over 6 feet in length, the Zweihander was a longsword featuring an extended grip and broad guard. As European armies employed more pikes and polearms on the battlefield, the Zweihander emerged as a counterweapon. This enormous sword was used to break up pike formations by cutting spear ends and opening up holes in enemy lines. Due to its size, the Zweihander was only wielded by the biggest and most audacious soldiers. If these soldiers survived charges into enemy spears, they would often be paid double for their substantial risk. The Zweihander eventually faded from the battlefield, but survives today in games such as Dark Souls. Your Zweihanders are big, so we came to a big open space to test them. Up first, the sharpness test. Dave?
Now, the Zweihander was known as a weapon of intimidation. To test the sharpness of your edge, I'm going to cut into this bundle of sugarcane twice, once with either side. Jay, you're up first. Are you ready?
Ready as I'm ever gonna be.
It's got a lot of weight to it, but obviously it's plenty sharp. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, Steven, you're up. Are you ready?
Can't wait. Jay's weapon did really well cutting through the sugar canes. I'm not nervous about mine, but, you know, I don't know if it's gonna cut better than his. His cut real strong.
It's light, it's easy to wield. That guard, it's almost where it's into you when you're swinging it. You can see it cut deep and clean. It looks like the blade held it beautifully. So nice job.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, the Zweihander was a weapon of war. Big weapon, big damage. I will take your weapon and deliver killing blows on this ballistic dummy. Let's see how much damage your weapon can do. Jay, you're up first. You ready?
Go for it.
Let's do this. It is a heavy weight, and it's harder to manipulate with multiple blows. But on the thrust, I was able to go in one side and all the way on the opposite side of the dummy. This, sir, will kill.
Thank you.
Steven, you're up next. You ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. That was brutal. Okay, Steve, the edge of your sword is sharp enough to lacerate all the way into the ribs. And on the power strike, that would disembowel and ruin this person.
That's the idea.
This sword will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, this is the strength test. Now, the Zweihander was often used against pike formations. So I'm going to take your Zweihanders and go against a rack of pikes here, 5 times with each of your blades. See how far I can break through. Jay, you're up. Are you ready?
Ready.
So after 2 tests, Steven and I are pretty neck and neck. So I feel pretty nervous because this next test should really determine who's gonna take home the prize.
Wow. When you start swinging this thing, it moves things out of its way. I don't see any damage to your edge. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, Steve, you're up.
Do it.
Okay. Obviously, it's a good cutter. It actually bit into that wood and split that right down the middle. Very easy to wield because of its light weight. But I think we've bent just a little bit. It's bent in two directions. And there is a crack now developing in the handle.
Gentlemen, we've got a lot to discuss. We'll see you back at the forge.
I'm concerned. I had a warp in my blade, so I don't know who's gonna end up with the win.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made their final decision. It's time to declare one of you the Forged and Fire champion. Jay, congratulations. Stephen, unfortunately, your sword did not make the cut. Please surrender your weapon.
I'm disappointed. I really wanted to win, but that's okay. I love being at the forge. It's hot, it's dirty, you'll smell funny, but it is so rewarding.
Jay, congratulations. You are the Forged and Fire champion. Good job.
Thank you.
How you feel right now?
I feel like my heart's about to burst out of my chest, but...
Well, it's the heaviest weapon I've ever had to wield in this competition. Very well balanced and a powerful weapon, too.
Thank you.
In the way you built your handle, that tells me a lot about the way that you make things. The wood is fitted on and then wrapped with leather with these reinforcing pieces underneath. That's the proper way to construct it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Jay, in exchange for that sword and those socks, and we'll be receiving that check for $10,000.
When they announced that I was the winner, it felt really good. I had people tell me, you know, you're good at what you do, but I always have this kind of self-doubt to make it all the way to the end and be the champion. I'm so happy.